Okay, perfect. I think we live now, bro. Um, Merry Christmas. I don't know the people that's watching, but uh, if you took the time out to watch this episode, watch this live stream, I do appreciate it. Um, I'm just holding tight. I got a couple of people that's probably going to be coming on to the episode real quick, and then we'll get started with today's episode. We just pretty much just have conversations about different things that we deal with, different topics, social topics, whether that's from family, relationship, self-reflection, things of that sort. So, it's not nothing to be be nervous about, man. We'll be all right. But yeah, I definitely want if anyone has any questions that you would like for us to talk about, or if you would like to come onto the stream throughout the show, I'll leave the link to the StreamYard here in the comments section. It should show up in a moment. But yeah, and I'll show it on the screen as well. It'll be in the comment section. Pretty much this link, if you have any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to talk about or add to the conversation, which is muchly appreciated. The link to the Yard stream to come into the studio is in the comment section on YouTube. For those that are watching and people that's going to be joining the stream later, my name is Jay. I go by Jay Miles. This is my homeboy for a long time, BSOP. What's up, C? C will be joining us later. What's good, bro?
What's up, bro? Oh, hold on. Let me fix that.
Okay, no pressure. But yeah, so pretty much, again, people that's coming into the conversation, we just talk about social topics, whether that's family, relationship, finances, money. I don't think that we have enough conversations about it to kind of bring the information to the masses. And I don't think that, I don't know, people kind of being led in the right directions to kind of get this information or resources to kind of, better themselves. So we just kind of talk about different things as well. But like I said, okay, see, we good. We can see you on the screen, bro. But yeah, see, that's my homeboy, BSOP. You don't want to say his name, but it's all good. But that's my homeboy, Chris. Can you hear us good?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. You can hear me?
Yeah, you good. I can hear you good. All right. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to shout out anything in the projects that you're working on, like that, VSOP, I'll let you go first if you want to speak on anything, or if not, then I'll let Chris have the floor.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, you might want to go out. You might want to exit the stage, bro, and come back in.
All right. Who, me?
No. See you good. See you good. Your audio is fine and your visual is fine, but I think let me take him out of stage real quick and I'll bring you back, bro. But yeah, what's up, C, man? Appreciate you hopping on for a moment, dog.
What's up, bro? It's always good to come on here and chop it up with you, dog. I enjoy anytime we can have these kind of conversations and, kind of dig at some of the problems that's out here in the world.
Right. All right. Well, I really appreciate you. I ain't gonna hold you too long though, dog.
Yeah, it is the holiday, dog, and that's the one time that I do get out the house. I go and hang out with the family and stuff like that. So, I try and get them as much time as possible. But you like family too, bro. So, if this the way I get to chop it up with you for a little bit on the holidays, I'll take it.
Okay, bad. Yeah, man, I'm up here in Ohio, dog.
Oh Lord, you out of town? I ain't even know. I kind of see the background. Look kind of hotel-y. So I ain't want to say nothing, but
yeah. I'm up here in Ohio, man, working in the cold. You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think you back on, bro. Can you hear us good?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better, bro. But yeah, man, if you want to introduce yourself to the people, bro, that's watching, and if anything you want to talk about, any projects you got going on before we start the show, we can.
Man, the only project I got going on raising these kids, man. That's all.
Hey, listen, man, I get it. That's a 24/7 job right there. That's every day.
That's overtime.
that's overtime with no pay.
One day, you know what I mean? If they take heed of what you say, so it'll pay off then.
It's the long game. You gotta play. You gotta wait the long game with the kids.
Hey, I don't mind, man.
Yeah, that's real.
What's up, man. But yeah, so me and his name not on the screen though, but me and VSOP, I ain't gonna say his name, bro, but I gotta get used to calling you that. But we went to school, man. Maybe God damn, what was that, bro? Like 12 years ago?
Oh shit, probably like 2011, 13, or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, 2011, 12. We went to trade school together for mechanics. We both graduated for working on vehicles and stuff like that. So, but we've been good friends since then, man. Good dude. But yeah, so again, in the comment section, I do have the link if anybody want to come to the stream. One thing that I've been pushing, bro, I've been trying to get I've been trying to get some women on the screen because I've been wanting to kind of get their perspective on it, but I can't get them to come up. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know, maybe I gotta get what are they, like Chris Brown or something like that? Somebody to come up here. I don't know, somebody that the women like to come up so we can get them to speak. But
you gotta find somebody real, you know what I mean?
Say it again.
I think you just gotta find somebody real.
Somebody real.
Yeah, man, because somebody that's more down to earth that got something worth saying and worth listening to. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. I gotta reach out to somebody. Maybe the next episode we'll chit chat and bring them on screen because I don't like the conversations to be so one sided. It's good to have that balance. And perspectives. But if anybody wants to come on stream, I do have the link in the comment section. You can see it on the screen. It's from StreamYard. You can come up, be a part of the conversation. If you want to, challenge us on something, or I know C always up for a good challenge now, but if you want to challenge us on anything or add, any commentary or liking us on anything, you're welcome to come up, be a part of the show. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I know everybody's dealing with the holiday, and the togetherness of it, the family, the everything about it to me is heartwarming. My family and friends on holidays. So, but in the comment section, also too, if you guys watching, I love to know where you guys are watching from. Yeah, I know how. Say it again. Oh, okay, I thought you had said something. But yeah, in the comment section, if you guys want to shout out watching from, I do appreciate it. I'll shout you out on the screen here. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the episode. That way I don't hold, I don't hold everybody so long today. But pretty much the show itself is let's talk about it, and I'm pretty much into things about helping folks who went through similar situations or maybe going through similar situations. How we handled it was probably not the best, or if we handled it in a situation, enlightens you, move forward, then definitely go ahead and take the advice and hit somebody later on in life. But today we're just going to kind of just focus on relationships. We didn't really get into too much last time because we're kind of running a bit behind on time. I do have somebody else too that's going to be joining the show later. So when he comes, I'll bring him on, and we'll just kick back and chill, enjoy for a moment. But also, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You'll get notified whenever I go live. And just kind of be able to show from the seats, so to speak. So I don't know if you guys can see the question on screen there. That's the Okay, perfect. So it came up on my end. So it says at what point does loving someone to losing yourself, and how do you know when that line has been crossed? Um, I know I didn't see you guys the questions ahead of time because you like to think on the fly and everything. So I'll go first, just because I kind of had to kind of prep for the show. So I think for me, it's when the effort is one-sided. And I think that line is crossed when you really. So for when I say the effort is one-sided, so if one person is actually responsible for the other, because you can't be in a relationship by yourself. So if one person is actually putting effort to show interest into the other person, and that's not being reciprocated, I think that at that point, there's a line that you gotta kind of step back and realize that okay, maybe this person is not as into you as you are into them, and maybe you need to come back. Because you never want to be that person, you know what I mean? That's desperate. So, you got to know your worth. If somebody value you and somebody wants to be with you, they'll show interest in you as well. So it's not always going to be the onus is not always going to be on the man in the relationship to show intent or to show that the other person desired. You know what I mean? So, I'll let you go second. What do you think about it?
I agree. Close to like what you said, similar things. I'm a person that believe in balance. So if you look at a situation and it's out of balance, it don't have to be you doing exactly the same thing for the person. So maybe both of y'all don't put in the same amount of money, or maybe one of y'all, only one person pay for the date. I'm not opposed to stuff like that, but if it's places in your life where you say you know that those are the places that you expect your mate to be able to sustain you, and the person not doing those things, but you're still carrying your weight in the relationship, and I think that's when it turned into losing yourself, because everybody don't value the same things from a relationship. Like it's general consensus that women, value things like material things, and I don't know if I can speak for all guys, but personally, I don't value those things that much. I value family and time, effort, and building things more than material things. So I think that's where you see that's where you kind of lose yourself, when you spot an imbalance, and it's a major imbalance where it's like, I'm kind of fulfilling these things for this person, but on the flip side, they're not doing any of the things that I expect in return back. So similar to what you said.
So in that situation, so one thing I do want to kind of ask about that though is because you were saying, some women to value more material things. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that might be a human nature thing. If you say that men are the stronger being, and the protectors and stuff like that, then going out in the world and getting things, that might be the man's part in the relationship, not being able to get those things as easy, not being able to forced to as like a backup to be able to get those things. They have to use charm and stuff like that. So in a relationship, they're charming the person kind of go out and take those risks in the world. So I think that's why they value it, because they know that it's a bigger risk, I get life and death wise. You might face the same amount of jail time, but a woman quicker to be harmed in a situation than a guy is.
You got I value what you said, but it was a bit difficult, bro. You got like a slight feedback coming in from your side.
I hear it too, but I hear it the whole time.
You hear it the whole time?
Yeah. Like when you was talking, I was kind of hearing it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit underwater, a little bit.
Okay.
That's how it sound on your side. You playing it out loud?
Yeah, I'm playing it on the speakers here, but I don't have any.
You don't think maybe your microphone picking up the speaker? Because you sound clear, and once he went out and came back in, it was clear. But when I'm talking, I do hear it, but I hear it when you talk too.
Yeah, when I'm speaking as well. Yeah. Is it an echo also? When you don't hear any feedback?
Yeah, clear though.
Oh, it's clear. Okay, it could just be my end then.
Might be it.
Right, I have to look into that. But yeah, man. So what do you think about that, bro?
Man, what I think about that is like people go into relationships knowing what they're there for. You know what I mean? They already know they already got their intention down on pat what they want. Either they like it or they don't, or they just convenient or something. You know what I mean? So sometimes you might be in a relationship, you might like her more, she like you, and you're doing all this stuff and it just doesn't add up to her. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes when we take that chance of being with somebody or trying to be with somebody, it's really difficult to see what the outcome could be. You know what I mean? Because how long does it take to find that perfect relationship? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I understand life isn't perfect, but when you find somebody that matches you, you know, that's where things change until okay, maybe we can have that kind of every ending story. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's all in the beginning.
Okay. Okay. So you saying people have intentions going into relationships, they're looking for more?
Of course.
But do you think that's always been the case? Because I find that some people do have had relationships in the past that wasn't intentional. Like a lot of times women deal with certain people because you know what Chris said, they're attracted by certain material things, or they may have their own agenda, but it wasn't intentionality behind it. It was just more convenience, anything, without actually taking the time to understand and know the person. So why do you think what do you think caused that change now that as women have gotten older, or even as men gotten older, they're more trying to find with somebody that actually matches what they desire?
Yeah, of course. You know, shit changes. Not everything's the same in the beginning. Either swindle her or if she swindle you, do things. You know how it is. Sometimes you like what they say. You never know somebody till you live with them. You know what I mean? So certain things that they didn't see on the outside, they start see on the inside and like, oh, okay, this might be right for me. You understand?
Right. But what I'm saying, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that was the message that was preached to them, like to you know by media, to kind of go after that type of person instead of, because you know everybody used to hear the saying, you know, good guys finish last. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Not in all cases. You know what I'm saying? You might have their parents or whoever raised them or teach them. Some people don't know what love is. You know what I'm saying? They do it as they go. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, you know, who's in their ear. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
What they see.
Right.
All that comes to effect of what you have. You understand?
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. So just like I do appreciate that, dude. A lot of that stuff does make sense. As far as you know, as we get older, I think we do realize, you know, we start to move with a bit more intentionality behind things, and you know, I think you can kind of spot in the beginning also, you know, who's a good fit and what's not a good fit. So when you start really paying attention to a person, because a lot of times,
some of us would like somebody more than they like us. You understand? Now we looking desperate, trying to fit all these shoes, and they don't want it. You know what I mean?
They don't want it. But do they tell you? What do they tell you what you want? Do you tell them what you want?
It depends. It depends.
Why not?
I don't know. Sometimes just, you know, I don't like to expose too much or reveal too much of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I'm just trying to figure that person out.
Right. Yeah. What you think? See, you think those conversations are being had in the beginning? You reveal what you desire.
I said what we want.
I think it depends on the relationship sometimes. I think a lot of times people are maybe inadvertently showing what they want in relationships or saying it. We might not be paying the best attention because we only trying to get what we trying to get out of the relationship. But I think people say it. I think just the way that you interact with the person, the way that the dates go, unless you just met somebody and you go out the same night with the person, some kind of conversation. I'm sure most of the time people talk about past relationships or what didn't work with the last relationship. So I think they get some kind of a meter as to what they're expecting from relationships. If it's not this specific relationships, it's just relationships in general. So I think it's happening. I just don't think people paying that much attention to it.
Right. That's true. I think that's true. I think
I do want to ask VSOP a question though, because he said something about perfect. He did clear it up, but a lot of times I look at relationships, and especially relationships that people had for a long time, like my grandparents and my parents, and some of my aunts and uncles, just people that I'm around, and their relationships not perfect, and by a long shot, it's like it's a lot of imperfection, and then maybe like a sprinkle of perfection that we get to see. Like we don't get to see what's going on a daily basis at home, even with your family. But generally, you do kind of just hear about all the bad parts all the time. So, but when you look at it that way, is it really a way that you're gonna be able to find like a perfect match with somebody, or are you gonna have these issues or like hurdles that you got to get over with the person, and maybe one person is just a person that you're more willing to do that for than the next person? Like the next person, you already see some things you don't like about them, so it's like, yeah, I'm not willing to deal with these other imperfections. But another person you come in contact with, they might do some of the same imperfect things relationship wise, but because you just kind of feel that person a little bit more, you willing to look past it.
My bad. See, I was just having a thought in my mind when you was talking about it, bro.
Yeah, no, you good though. I
was trying to get you to get to the question because
I needed to explain it because he did explain. He said that he don't think that it's like pretty much to summarize what he was saying. He was like, you find that perfect person. Like nobody gonna be perfect for you. So I was just trying to dig more into that to see if like because I can only speak for myself. I've dated a girl, she did something. I dated another girl, she did the same thing, but I was willing to accept it more from this other girl than the previous one.
So VSOP, what do you think about that? You understand the question?
Yeah. We're in different times right now. We got a lot of distractions in today's society. But who says to say, some people, they just like, okay, I'm with this person. I might not always be happy. Some people go in relationships with understandings that it might not always be perfect all the time. You know what I mean? I might not like this person this season. But the next season I'm in love with that person. But a lot of times, depending on the person, even though somebody that you might see them, they fight all the time. But when that person passed away, that's who they miss. You understand?
That's real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just the situation, the time, and what you got in your mind already. Are you committed to it or are you not?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think the perfect relationship to everybody. I think, and I mean, and the thing about it, though, when you say perfect, then that's subjective, right? So for him, that may be what he desires, or that's maybe something that he's willing to compromise and work with. Not to say that not to say that a person may tolerate bad behavior, but I think that person that we're dealing with, we have to give them grace and understand that they're not perfect. So, like he said, some days you may be in love, season you may be love, and some seasons you may not be in love. So, But yeah, that was good to bring that up, blank clarity on that point there. But yeah, man, I got my one of my boys in the comment section who was saying yes. I think he was speaking on what we was talking about in regards to relationships. What's up, Tito, bro? I appreciate you watching the screen, dog. Even if you're in and out, I appreciate the support. But if you guys want to be a part of the show, the link to come up and be part of the panel for just a moment or two to kind of add to the conversation if you wish is in the comment section. I have it on the screen there. You can click on that link. I'll bring you up on, bring you in the studio, bring you up, and then you can kind of make your statement or add to the conversation if you wish. It's in the comment section. It's like the first comment, I believe. So should be starred or favorite or whatever it is. But yes, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also share it with your friends and family as well. I appreciate it. But yeah, so next question here on the screen, just to kind of move the conversation forward. Do most relationships fail because of a lack of love or a lack of emotional maturity, accountability? Yeah, VSOP, I'll let you go first.
I mean, yeah, all three. All three make sense, you know.
Have you ever experienced any of these, or anyone particular in your past?
Of course, like, how do you think you go from one relationship to another relationship? You know, something that you lost. You know what I mean? I'm more connected with the mind, so I might sometimes, especially with my age now, certain things I could accept. You know, certain faults I could accept, or agreements that we agreed on, and then agreements that have been broken that could mess up something too. So, but all that above can end everything.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what do you think about more so for men? What do you think is that is more?
Us, especially if we had kids with somebody, it's kind of hard for us to leave. You know what I mean? It's like pouring water in the cup.
Well, what?
How many cups will we end up filling up before we actually do leave? You know
right. I mean? We fill up a lot of cups, and to be fair to women too, I think women fill up a lot of cups as well. I think it takes a lot for them to actually check out of a relationship, but they do. Men check out relationships all the time. Yeah. I think men and women typically check out for reasons. I know men usually it's respect is very is required. We'll say that respect is required. So if a man is in a situation where he's not being respected and he doesn't feel appreciated or valued, just know that he leaves, chances are he probably been there for a while. So because it does take a lot to leave. We fill up a lot of
we feel like sometimes we feel unappreciated, especially like sometimes we don't really express how we feel sometimes. So our woman might think that one thing, but our mind is completely different. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you got stress going on, or everything in the house weighing in on you. You might want to get out of work. Just because you get out of work, sit inside the car, she see you sitting inside the car, she tripping on you. She thinking, not know. You know what I mean? Need some time to recuperate and just keep it. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, do you think that's on you to kind of communicate that?
Sometimes, bro, communication won't do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need that time to yourself just so you can put the pieces together.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in those situations, like, say like you get home, you sit in the car for a little bit, you have to kind of take a minute to kind of decompress or whatever from the day, whatever. And she interprets that a different type of thing. That is to communicate that to her so that she knows what's going on and she don't feel insecure.
Some people might get offended by your truth. You understand? I can't change what you got going on, how your day. Can I relieve your stress? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just might want to be by yourself.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think there's definitely something good to do after a stressful day. Take a minute to yourself to breathe, and I think it's important for your partner to kind of understand, not to be insecure. It has nothing to do with you. That's just your way of winding down for the day. Everybody is different. What you think, C? Do you think most relationships fail because of lack of love, emotional maturity, and accountability? What do you think?
What this one to me is kind of easy, bro. I think accountability. I think a lot of these relationships fail because of the love concept. Emotional maturity. I think that's something that you kind of grow into, just like all forms of maturity. That's like a form of growing and learning with experience. But I think accountability is the main one for both sides. I think it's just hard in general for women, period. If to kind of generalize women to take accountability. But then I think that us men do it too, where once we're in a situation, and maybe like we do check out, like how y'all was saying earlier. Sometimes we'll look past the things that we do and not want to take accountability for it to say, oh, okay, yeah, this might have affected the relationship a certain type of way. So I think more so accountability out of all three.
When you say accountability, what you mean by accountability?
Yeah, like taking responsibility for your actions, like the role that you played in the situation. So, if I get up tomorrow and my girl say that she don't love me, not saying, you got to say, oh, it's my fault she don't love me, but at least kind of look at the things that you did as the situation played out to see why, okay, well, she might not feel the same way about me because XYZ happened. A lot of times we don't look at it because we're so busy just living in our own world where, we just say, okay, well, my intentions was good because what's going on in your mind, but just your action might not have been the best action towards the person for them to understand what was going on. So now they just feel a certain kind of way about you now. So I just say, just taking responsibility for the role that you play in the relationship.
Gotcha. So for me, so yeah, when I kind of look away, it's because I wrote some stuff down. So yeah, so I think relationships do fail because of the lack of love. So like VSOP was saying, all three. That love to me, that just speaks on the intimacy part of the relationship, and that's not sexual. So I think a lot of times to build a connection with a woman, in general, you have to build intimacy, the connection of the relationship. She has to know that you desire her, but she also has to put in the energy to know that she desires you. That kind of ties back to the one-sided thing. So yes, a lack of intimacy is very big. Especially with women need intimacy. Like for me, I could probably go a couple of days. You give me a little kiss on the cheek or something like that. Or, I mean, not y'all know, I'm just or whatnot. But yeah, like I'm good. Like I know that we good just from that little bit of can't think of the word right now, but just little action things of that sort. I know that we fine, but women desire more. Yeah, and I think emotional intelligence, like to kind of feedback on what C was saying, that is something that you grow into, if you haven't been taught early on with that. And I think that those conversations are not being had about what it looks like to grow in an emotional level. And that's not to say to be to be soft or anything like that. That just means being able to recognize who you are as a man emotionally, and different type of emotional personalities. Because there are people out here that do have, for example, attachment issues. You know what I mean? You have to learn that sort, how they respond non-verbally, things that they do. They'll show you patterns of who they are, but you may not even understand that, okay, that person is probably dealing with some type of depression, or that person is probably dealing with some type of in the issue, you know, to kind of be there to, you know, to be that type of support for them as well. Yeah, just to kind of grow in growing emotional intelligence and also accountability speaks to kind of like what C was saying as well, just one that there is a problem that exists, recognizing the problem, speaking about it, and then taking action. The problem doesn't repeat itself. So, you know, not to be so long-winded, but yes, definitely all three.
Oh, I think you did kind of use love and intimacy interchangeably.
Say it again.
I said you kind of use love and intimacy interchangeably, like it was the same thing.
Okay, speak to the difference.
You know, intimacy is you would relate it to some kind of a interaction, like a physical interaction with the person. It might not have to be 100% sex. It could be like cuddling, you know, just kind of being close with the person and stuff. And you know, love don't necessarily, you know, I love my granddad. I never hugged a nigga or, you know, laid up with him and cuddled up and watched him. Yeah, you know, I'm saying just you know, maybe once or twice in my life, but you know, I still loved him until the day that he died. But I didn't hug the nigga every time I saw him.
So you don't think that the hug was an intimate act?
Yeah, when I was 5, but once I turned 30 and we never hugged in the past 20, you know, 25 years before that didn't mean I didn't fucking love my granddad to death.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did use them interchangeably, you know, just from the concept of, you know, dealing with a woman. That's what I was talking from that perspective. But even still, you know, even your grandfather though, like I think that a hug is an intimate act. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I show my homeboys love. I give you hugs all the time, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it means that I love you too. So, but
yeah, no, I'm saying the way that it changed. So I'm saying like I didn't hug my granddad when I was 30. When I was 5, yes, but the love for my granddad didn't change. I loved him equally as much. So you know, that intimacy aspect didn't really affect our relationship. Further apart, you know, we didn't have, you know, a different viewpoint on each other, other than like, you know, now you're just a grown man, and you know, I can say that, just say I love you, or you know, show up to your events to show that I love you, as opposed to, you know, giving you a hug. Because I think a lot of these relationships, you know, love still exists. People just don't know how to you know, maybe back to emotional maturity. People don't know how to deal with the times where you might not be, I guess you would say, in love with the person, or you know, happy with the person. They don't know how to handle those situations at those points. That don't mean that they don't love you. An example, like, you know, sometimes I might be mad at my mama. I might not want to talk to her for a couple of days. That don't mean I don't, you know, I don't love my mama at that point. It's just, you know, I'm just kind of mad at her.
Absolutely. You know, that kind of ties back to what VLC was saying too about, you know, there's a season, you know, even when you're going through those seasons in the relationship, in a marriage, you know, the love is still there. You may not be, it's still there, still present. Not as prevalent as it was before.
Somebody might be upset with you and not love you that same day, but soon emergency happens, you're the first one they call. You understand? So love, you know, it just, they might not show it. They might not want to be bothered with it, but it's still there though.
Yeah. So I'm saying it. So like, yeah, you know, the love didn't disappear. You just, there's another part of it that's going on at that moment. So like, you still love the person, but maybe you just angry at them at the moment, or you still love them, but you might just be disappointed in them at the moment. So, you know, I just think, I guess maybe I'm looking more so at like a specific definition of the word love, as opposed to, you know, just maybe, you know, how the general public interpret love.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's, you know, that's another word itself that's subjective. So everybody gonna have their own way of showing it and showing up for us. Oh, but yeah, that's dope though. I appreciate that though. Dang, man, it's already like 40 minutes, bro. It's like I'm gonna do like the third question. It be running through, bro. But I really appreciate anybody that's watching, that's supporting the channel. This is something that I envisioned some time ago. But I'm glad to see it coming into fruition. And anybody that's taking, time out of their holiday schedule to join the episode, to be a part of the stream, I do appreciate all the support. Like the page, subscribe to the channel, things of that sort. So we'll jump into the next one. It says, how much of our relationship struggles come from unresolved childhood wounds rather than we are with? That's a good one. See, I'll let you go first.
I would say I guess maybe I would raise it a little bit. Then I could give me a better answer. I would say instead of wounds, maybe just childhood experiences. I said if you said experiences as opposed to wounds to me, then I would say it's unresolved childhood experiences. Wounds is different because it might just be experiences. We might be living in a different time frame. Relationships are handled different, and just my experience growing up, seeing how my parents interacted, just all my relatives, how they interacted with relationships. But it might not be feasible in today's time. Just the relationship dynamics have changed. So, I think that affected a lot more than just the person that you with. But if you say wounds specifically, then I would say it would kind of depend on the person at that point, because some people might not have wounds, but maybe the other person got the wounds, and just your interaction with them in the relationship let you know that that's just not something that you can get with long term, or something that you might not ever be able to understand.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What do you think about that, VSOP?
Some people don't want to heal from their childhood wounds. Some people are afraid of what they've been through and don't want to face it, and they continue with it. And as you're trying to push them through it, it might cause tension between you and that person. You understand? So it's like a lot of us, even as you're saying that your parents, some people be stuck in their ways and all that, and you might inherit that as well, of their ways. And then the person who has like different experiences growing up, just because you grew up a certain way, your wounds or your experiences might cut them as they're trying to work with, try to be with you. You understand? So they might get affected, and then that continues on the cycle. So it's like some of them, we all got some kind of childhood experience that the next person may not like, or as it shows. You understand? So you got some people that's abusive, verbally or physically. Some people that are just conniving. It starts from somewhere, because if we look at a child is loving. You know what I mean? So just by watching someone be around you, it's kind of hard sometimes.
Right. So I mean, if you say a child is loving, so is it safe to say that a child is taught to hate?
Excuse me?
So if a child is loving, so is it safe to say that the child is taught to hate, or is it the love a natural thing and they're taught to love?
You might have a mother, right, who doesn't know how to show love physically, but she's just showing it by buying. So how's that child gonna grow up? It might turn materialistic, or it might someone be shallow because they don't know how to love. You understand? And unconditional. Right. So it's like every experience or every relationship that someone goes through is always going to be some kind of childhood. I ain't gonna say trauma, but experience that mold who they are. And I guess you just got the modem of a way of, what's that word? Man, what's that damn word? Forget that. You just got to figure a way of making it work out. You know what I mean? You know, eventually, well, I guess when they trust you, when someone trusts you, you know, they tend to want to change or do better. So
Right.
anything could be healed.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree though. I think I said I agree. I definitely think that for the people that want to receive help, they definitely have opportunities to do so. And some people they don't want to heal from it, you know. But yeah, but there for my opinion though, but there are some people though that do have like she said, experiences, and then some people do have wounds. Usually, to me, the way that I look at it is like it'll be like wounds of abandonness, wounds of neglect, uh, self-love wounds, or worthiness wounds, things of that sort. I think that all those things do play a big part in relationships that you desire, because sometimes you can be your own worst enemy, you know, especially if you're dealing with someone that recognizes these things in you, and he or she is pushing you or suggesting that, you know, hey, it'll be best for you to get counseling, or best for you to get help. You know, they can only do so much because they're not specialized in the area you need help in. You understand? So you will have to actually have it in yourself to say, okay, well, this person wants the best for me, and maybe I should hear them out and get the help, because I do desire to deal with this person, and I do see that the issue that I'm dealing with can ultimately stand in the way of us being successful, whatever that looks like for us. You know what I mean? In the future. So, but I do think people do still have wounds that they do carry. And a lot of times, most people, like you were saying, they don't want to help. A lot of times, some people go into, I say, a turtle shell. Like some people go into a shell and ignore it and just not deal with the problem and just continue as if it didn't exist. So, but yeah, I think
So
that's
that falls back into the maturity, you know what I mean, of whoever's dealing with you. If they're mature enough to have the patience to want to deal with that, you understand? Because
right.
as long as you have patience with somebody, then you know eventually with time you'll be able to help that person.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
just it's just like taming the beast. You know what I mean?
You're right. That's a good way of looking at it, Type of the Beast.
You're gonna take.
Um, well, you know, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, you know, it starts with that person. They got to have the desire for themselves to want more than you want from them. So, but yeah, everybody deals with something, and I think it's important for us to, you know, seek counsel, help, therapy in those areas that we're dealing with. So, yeah, we're almost done, fellas. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. I know that we all got some things going on for the day. Almost at an hour. I still got a couple more things, but I ain't gonna hold y'all too long with it. Is commitment about finding the right person or becoming the kind of person who knows how to stay? Um, I'll go first. Oh, I'm gonna say both. Um, I think it becomes with. I think this ties into emotional maturity, self-awareness, kind of knowing what you desire in a person. So the way that I think about it is, say you right, because you're never going to get 100% of what you want from a person. So, like for instance, if you make a list of things that you desire, say 5 things, and you circle the 3 that are most important to you, then that's the person that I would say go for, because you're not going to get 100% of everything that's on your list. All right. If they are that person, you know, in that moment, they probably won't be that person down the line, unfortunately. But I'm just saying, 100% of what I want, I'm probably never going to really find that. So I'm okay with 70%, 80% of whatever it is. Because the way that I look at it though too, like if I get 80% of what I desire, I may be that 20% of what she needs to grow in that department, and I can help her with that 20%. You know what I'm saying? And she can help me in areas that I like. We can work together in a manner. So also, and then commitment as well. I also think it is about um, staying, being the kind of person that knows how to stay. It's important, relationships. You have to wake up every day. You have to choose each other. So when one person stops choosing the other, that's when the relationship is over. See what you think about it. See.
Well, I'm leaning more toward becoming the kind of person that knows how to stay. I guess maybe once I remove it from a relationship dynamic, sometimes I do have a tendency to do that. That might not be the best thing, but once I remove it from a relationship dynamic, it's like, sometimes you'll commit to a job. You don't really, it's not the right job for you, but you will commit to the job. You'll say, yeah, I'm gonna see this through. So I think it's just more so about becoming the right, becoming the person that know how to stay.
Okay. What do you think about it, VSOP?
I think the best commitment is one that knows how to keep you.
Okay.
You could, just like how you say, you could stick with the job, and it might not be the best thing for you. You're miserable every day, or like we talked about earlier, with dealing with kids and all that. But if someone knows how to keep you, then you will know how to commit.
All right. So what is it? What is it? So when you say a person that knows how to keep it, what does that look like?
Who knows, who takes the time to learn you and knows how to take action on everything that they're comes to you. You understand? So, for instance, like you come home, they realize they paying attention. Like they realize, okay, this person they had a long day and they want to rest. Let me go ahead and take the kids and go somewhere so you can get his him time. You know what I mean? So just things like that. Who pick up the slack? You know what I mean? So it's so much you could do in a relationship. Right. But if you have a partner that's willing to know or putting the initiative and picking up the spots that that you lack or that they see that you need, then why wouldn't you commit to that?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good point too, bro. Those are often the things that people don't see, and those are moments that I think are really appreciative. Because everybody deals with whatever they're dealing with, and just little things like that, like the song, the little things that matter the most. So, definitely. Yeah, man, we almost there, man. I'm not gonna, maybe like one more. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Yeah, I really appreciate y'all, taking the time to join the show. All right, perfect. The last one we'll talk about. Can trust ever fully return after it's been broken, or is the relationship forever changed once betrayal happens? Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and talk first, Vio. So
yeah, it depends. It's gonna be a long road though.
Depends on what, bro?
Huh?
Depends on what?
I said it depends because it's gonna be a long road. You got to really put the work in, the footwork in, and trying to prove to the person that okay, yeah, you messed up, but I realize where I messed up at. Take accountability of certain things and just work on it and just show up.
Do you think that would be accepted? Because a lot of times, when you try to prove something to someone, they may think that, hey, it's disingenuous because you're only doing it because you're trying to, and instead of just being your authentic self and showing that you actually have changed, and let them see the change for themselves without actually.
Sometimes you can't even like really stress yourself in trying to prove. You just have to realize within yourself where you messed up at and just do the work. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just go, not just go, you know how it is when they get thrown back in your face, or you're just doing that because of this and that.
Right. That's why I was trying to be clear. Because women can't spot if someone is just doing something just because they have intentions, because they want something. They're really good. Intuition is good.
That's why I said it's gonna be a long road, you know. So just can't really worry about it. Just continue pick up where you left off from, and just
right. What you think, C?
I might not be emotionally mature yet, but I definitely think that once the betrayal happens, it's curtains. One of your homeboys, he got me with that question the last time. With his explanation, he gave a real good explanation. It made me think. When he was saying like, it depends on what you have tied up into the relationship at that point. Sometimes you might not want to throw away your whole family and walk away from the relationship, and that kind of made me think on that show. But just generally, I'm one of those people where once the person kind of lose that value that they see in you, I don't think you could come back from it. I don't know if you want to spend a large portion of your life trying to bounce back from that. But like I said, that just might be emotionally, emotional maturity too that I haven't really experienced yet.
Right. For me, bro, I think that. Yeah. Okay. Well, just to kind of speak on what you were saying, so there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's subject to do whatever they think is best for them. So if depending on the circumstances for you, if it's too much for you to bounce back from, yeah, you have the right to walk away. And there's no judgment for it. I think for me, I think it's I don't think the relationship is. I don't think it's forever change. I think in the moment it will be, and like he said, it's going to be a long road. And I think trust can. That's a tough one, but yes, I think trust can fully return, though. Yes, but a lot of times, what happens, depending on the circumstances, some people go through PTSD because of whatever the situation is. Like, there's some things you can't watch. There's things that you avoid to speak about because it's difficult, bro. Because those moments remind you of the hurt, and it's hard. And as a man, bro, it's difficult, bro, because it's like, for us, what's ours is supposed to belong to us. You know what I'm saying? And we big on respect. Men, we big on respect. You know what I'm saying? And just to be in a situation where you feel like it'll happen is really hard. And I know it's hard for women as well. Sometimes I didn't see before that women are more accepting of sharing their man because this man may have greater financial means and they're willing to share and things like that. But I don't know if I would never be attracted to a woman like that, though, because I don't know. I just feel like in that situation, your dignity is important to me. Like, you willing to accept that, for money, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's besides the point. But yes, I think that the relationship.
Financial, then it's really ain't real. If it's for financial, then it's really not real. You can't really trust that.
Yeah, it's definitely not real. But that's the convenience of it. So you question what's your motives. But sometimes men they know, okay, this is what she want, this is what I give her, and she okay with it. I'm just gonna do my thug dizzle, but it's based on what you're willing to accept. But me as a man, yes, the relationship would be changed temporarily. It's gonna be a long road. I don't know how long it'll be but yes, over time, as I see patterns of changed behavior or then I'll start to build back trust. Definitely. But yes, if you stuck around with us for the entire episode, I really appreciate you. Happy holidays to
before we dip, I do want to kind of touch on what y'all was saying about not being real. Can y'all explain what y'all mean when y'all say it's not real? If it's there for like a financial reason, like it's not real.
It's just convenient, you got, you fall on hard times, any kind of issue this person got you, it's just like the feelings ain't really there, but I know I'm straight. I got a roof over my head. You know what I mean? I got a car. If I need money, I can get money. And the kids, if my kids needs, I need somebody to watch my kids. He's right there. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. But y'all saying it only. Y'all saying it only from the perspective of like if it becomes an imbalanced situation, or because a lot of relationships, bro. That's why relationships used to last in the past. I guess you would say back in the days when marriage was something different. It was purely based on the fact that you kind of needed this other for a specific thing. So being in a society where capitalism is the way that you survive in the world, then finances would be an important part of it. As far as like, that might be one of the main reasons that people stay, because that's one of the main reasons that relationships fail. If you look up,
is the love there, or is it gone away?
It's not
I mean, you could love a person, but you could just kind of get tired of sleeping up under a bridge.
I think that for me, when I speak about the realness of it, I'm talking about the genuineness of the relationship. If a person there's only for you for the inconvenience of what's in it for them, what happens when you cannot provide that convenience anymore? And it's something that I've been doing for you for 20, 30 years. And now I'm sick and I can't survive on my own and I need you. At that point, you're going to be out the door. And maybe I was maybe on my end, I was emotionally connected to you. And I thought that's what we were. But now it's like, well, I'm finding out that you were here for different motives, different reasons. And, at the end of the day, I'm a person as well. I'm a human being and I have feelings as well, just like you. And I would hope that you care about me just as much as I care about you.
So is it more so the imbalance as opposed to just, the fact that it's a financial reason?
Yes, it was more so. I would say more so is the imbalance.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing that I was trying to get at, because you could have like a real relationship and the person is there because it's like, you make my life easier in this point. Even again, me removing it from relationships, like a man, woman, like a dating relationship, just putting it in a friendship situation. You do kind of look towards your friends for certain things. It might not be money all the time, but it might be different things, advice, certain outlooks on life. The person got a happy personality, so you're just in a better mood when you're around them. So just people do become kind of codependent on people once you start saying relationship wise. Yeah. So I was just saying that might be the codependency. My grandma never worked, and
that's
my whole life.
But I bet if something was to happen with your grandfather, she would still be there for you. And that's the part of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I'm still saying if my granddad didn't work for 10 years and wasn't able to support his family, we don't know how that relationship would be though.
Right.
Maybe my grandma loved her kids more than her husband, and she say, "Hey, you can't take care of the household. It's been 10 years. We kind of our lifestyle is kind of going down and down and down and down. Something else got to happen."
Right.
Some people ride with you through your hard times.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Got the homeless that sleep under the bridge with you. You know what I mean? So,
and listen, I see couples outside, homeless, walking the dog together. They be riding with each other, so I know they connected because they ain't got nothing. So, but each other, you know what I'm saying? I rather if I'm a struggle, and it's tough though because women don't want to be in a period that's uneasy, and I understand, but men do struggle.
Is it love though? If you got that person if you keeping that person in an uncomfortable situation?
Everybody got free will, I'm not keeping anybody in a place that they don't want to be. Anybody at any moment in time is way, bro. You can't, that's just what it is, right?
Yeah, but what about love in that dynamic though? Like if I love my girl, I don't want to see her in a bad situation, whether it's with me or not with me. I just don't want to see the person in a bad situation. My homeboy the same way. I don't want to see him in a bad situation. So I'm not gonna say, hey, just stay with me, even though it's a bad situation.
Oh yeah, no, I would listen. My homeboy's in a bad situation. I would tell you out of love, bro. You need to walk away, because it doesn't look like love to me. I see you, bro. You look different.
Some people ain't got that drive though. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of people who ain't with some ain't shit people, but they that person. So love come in any kind of fashion form. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't really like define what love is to anybody. Your love might mean something different than that person. You know what I'm saying? So some people might know they getting pretty, but they love that person, and shit.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own, man. Each his own, bro. To each his own. That's what I got to say. Yeah. Anything else? See, I know you thinking over that.
I'm not trying to keep y'all. I can talk about this particular scenario all day because yes, you can. The person might love you. The girl might love me and be willing to sleep under the bridge for me, with me. But at some point you might have to question my love for her. She might be madly in love with me. There's so much so she willing to sleep up under a bridge with me for 10 years. But do I love her at a certain point? If I know that this is an uncomfortable situation and I'm keeping her there and I'm kind of keeping her there with me, because maybe I just like the companionship, or I just like having her around, or maybe in my mind I done convinced myself that I love her, but I'm keeping her away from the lifestyle that people generally enjoy.
What would you do in a situation like that?
I'll say that again.
What would you do in a situation like that?
That's why I said earlier I might not be emotionally mature yet, because I'm not staying in no situation where I'm uncomfortable.
Of course,
I can really like the girl a lot, and if I'm just uncomfortable, if I feel like this is not the right thing, I don't have a problem with walking away from it. So I could admit my emotional immaturity in that area in life. That's why I was asking the question, because I think y'all gave good answers, and it seemed like it was more so the imbalance of just only the person is there for financial reasons, and as soon as the finance is not there, the person walks away. I was just trying to get a better understanding for that part. If a person stick around with you for 5 or 6 years and then they say, hey, I just can't do it, and leave, then maybe the person did love you. They just kind of got tired of the situation, or figured that y'all wasn't ever able to figure it out. So it is one of those things that you can't judge based on the scenario, but I was just trying to get a better understanding for that specific part. But I do think that if you keep somebody around you, even if it's the opposite, if a girl know that ideally I don't want to be in a relationship where the person cheat, and the girl that cheated on me several times and I stay with her, yeah, I might madly be in love with her. And she might say that she loves me, but she don't really love me if she know that ideally I don't want to get cheated on and she keep cheating on me.
I mean, at that point, it's your worth, man. Your worth in question, dog. If you don't see the value in yourself to walk away, bro, then you know
it's not worth building sleeping up under the bridge. How much is you worth?
I'm not trying to be in a situation like you say, bro, where you're uncomfortable. Now, to a certain extent, like there's times though when I'm committed to somebody, I understand that there's going to be times, and like he said, seasons where I'm not going to be comfortable. In that moment, that's when my character is being tested. I'm not the type of person to walk away, because I understand that they're not going to every day. But I do have things that I don't allow. That I'm not going to say allow, that I don't compromise with. You understand what I'm saying? If someone shows you repeatedly, there are some things that you can walk away from. You don't have to take. You don't have to take the situation. And if someone is still under a bridge for 5 years with their girl, maybe they just need to break up. That person just his character off. He's not even trying to do better. He just stuck in whatever situation, and he's comfortable with it. And it's like, maybe he's off or something like that. Or, there are some people though that are trying to do better. They just been down for 5 years, so my heart goes out to them. But if a person's still in a situation and not trying to get better, then it's I would want the person I'm with. If I have that mentality, I would want them to know I'm not going to be any good for you. So, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, man. Anything you want to talk about real quick, VSOP, bro?
I ain't got nothing on my mind, bro.
You good, dog? I be wanting a woman to come up sometimes so I can kind of hear their perspective on certain things. It's been about a year, so we'll see if I get someone to come up. It's been about a year. I've been trying to get them up. But yeah, man. Happy holidays to you guys. Episode has been it's been fun. I appreciate y'all. We didn't get through everything, but we got the most of it. And happy holidays to you. Enjoy, man. Really
Same
appreciate
y'all, bro. And I do gotta say I'm kind of jealous of the beards, bro. I hope somebody got me the little beard club for Christmas when I start going around collecting my gifts.
Oh, you trying to go?
Hey, bro, I got beard envy right now. I almost wanted to do my whole thing with my picture off. Dang, dog. My job don't grow for nothing.
Yeah, joke don't grow, man. You got it. I don't know what it is, but you got to eat some spicy food, eat some Haitian food or something, man. eat some of the game or something. He crazy. But yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Enjoy your day, bro.
For sure,
I love y'all too, bro. I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me, dog. VSOP, I like your responses, dog. You give I like when people not scared to kind of answer the question that they don't feel a certain kind of way. They just give whatever the response is to the question that they hear. So I enjoyed chopping it up with y'all boys for sure.
You try to have some more responses, man. This is my first time.
And my boy was nervous too. I had called him before the show, and
I was sweating earlier.
He said that he was gonna get a wig and put some shades on. And my boy was really going incognito.
Say, come on here, dressed like Santa Claus. Oh, it's the Christmas episode, so let me just hide everything.
Hey, we crack it up, bro. But yeah, man, love y'all, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, bro.
All right,
sure.
bro.